Hi all, this is Skate, and Happy New Year to you all. Now, I wanted to start the new year with a video on a happy note, and the first thing that came to my head was KV2. I thought, nah, it's not really that different. There's got to be something else. Before I continue, actually check this part out. So the SU-12254 is protecting the Borsig, but if we ram him, pin the Borsig in position, there's the Borsig can't move, so yeah. Really tickle me. But what's special about these games is random teamwork. It's momentarily, well actually it's going to be 3 versus 5, now it's 2 versus 5, make that 2 versus 4, and momentarily it's going to turn into a 2 versus 3. Now that E75 on my team is being driven by a player called Airbus A3118. And I've never met him before in battle, I don't believe. This is our first battle we've ever bumped into each other. And what's important or different about these games, it's not the IS-3 defender at the top blaming everybody else. It's pretty much a random platoon. And I like this because you don't see this all the time. In fact, it's very rare that you can bump into a random player in game and end up working so well as a team. So I thought I'd put these two games up for my New Year video, because it's something different, something unique, and something rather fun. Now, I'm trying to push that Borsig out so I can snap a shot into the E75, but sadly I've slightly blocked him, but he can side scrape up now and finish off the E75. And I get shot in the butt, and this is when I leg it, and the E75 turns around to face that tank frontally. Now, 2 super Pershing APCR rounds will finish off the E75, so I need to get around quickly so we can both work him down as a team. IS-3 defender is still rabbiting on at the top. E75 is now in a position to angle up and side scrape, and while he's doing that, I'm going to actually YOLO in first because I've now taken the shot. But however stupid it seems, it means I'm the focal attention here. But now I've got one more. If I can reverse back as the E75 reverses out to side scrape into a position to cover me and finish off the Super Pershing. I like games like this. You're not in a platoon, but you bump into a player who's competent and seems to work well with you in a completely random circumstance. Now, I'm not running premium accounts on this video, so I lost 10,000 credits, but I did 3,500 damage, and the E75, being Airbus A318, did 3,700. That was a nice little random battle, and between us, we carried pretty much, I like to think, even though the IS-3 defender hated us for it. And this battle, we are back on the same map, and the player I need to point out on this one is the driver of the Object 268. I believe his username is pronounced Jost2 Arnie. Could be wrong, but we're just going to call him Arnie, and it's quite fitting anyway because he carries well. Now, my idea here, while all my team flank up one direction, I'll go through the middle and see what I can spot up. But I spot up 2 things behind me, I don't get shot, thankfully, and then I get into the cover of my team. Now, in a Leopard 1, this realistically is not somewhere I want to be, because now I'm on the forefront, and I'm probably the squishiest target by here. So realistically, I need to time it so once the reds have shots, then I work out, or I'll try and come out just at the same time as my team buddies. So for example, that IS-7's armor is protecting me. Sadly, the 263 does take a big old heat round off the E100. What I'm trying to do is track the E100 in position, because although I can't get a lot of shots off around here because, well, I have to time it perfectly, I could have at least got some track shots which would have helped the team. Now, we knew there was other tanks down this direction earlier, and a bit of convenient timing, I've turned around come this direction, and they've lit up. But the 268 has also turned around, so I'm not alone fighting these 2 mediums. I've got cover fire almost from the 268. Now you can see I'm aiming for the track wheel to try and keep that 140 out for the 268. However, my last shot bounced off its upper plate, and you can see I'm aiming low, just hoping to get that track wheel, because keeping that tank out, obviously in theory, and it is all theory based, but it makes him a much easier target. However, during all this, if we check around the back, which you see I've done once already, a little bit earlier on, That flank's falling, so sitting where I am means I'm going to get pincered, and you can see the 268 thought exactly the same, so he's rushing this direction to try and address these mediums. He's pushing up to try and get the last shot on the 268. Misses, which is possibly my fault for rushing out, making him rush his shot. But that's the two T-62A out, and it means I can now push this guy out from behind the rock. I pushed him out with hope in the intent that the 268 would shoot at him. However, if we look at the mini-map, the 268 had to go back and try and help our E100. But in all fairness, I had more hit points in this circumstance, so logically, unless I'm an absolute idiot, I should have in theory won that one-on-one. So we are now in a 3-on-4 situation. Myself, the 268, and the E100. Now I could go running in head first, but again, what is that going to accomplish other than everybody looking at the big squishy target? So, my idea was to work around the flank and try and distract one of the tanks, which is what I'm trying to do here. I do sadly take a shot though, but it does mean I'm going to load way before this guy. Now, it's just me and the 268. We were versus 4. We are now in a 3 versus 2. So I'm pushing down this way. However, I'll stop. And you can see I'm waiting to try and give him cover fire, because if anything comes up there like an E100, I can hopefully track that tank to allow the 268 to leg it and come down this direction with me. And this is where the teamwork starts to work nicely, much in the same way as the other game. I kind of I drift, fall off, then change my mind and go, right, if I come up there, it's going to be too obvious. I need to come up in the middle, hopefully near that bush, and I can spot. Also, there's a ridge on my left and my right hand side and in front of me now, and I've got gun depression, and the 268 nowadays has reasonable gun depression too. So he does exactly the same thing. I'm pushing up to a bush, gives me the spotting advantage to try and help the 268 to get some nasty shots off. I bounced off the roof of a Death Star. Now, it would be very foolish for me to sit there with those two tanks and us not knowing where the enemy IS-8 is, and that IS-8 hasn't been seen in a while. Now, the friendly 268s did manage to get a shot into the E100, so I'm going to work to flank. So what we're doing at this point in time is acting as a pincer maneuvement. You can see the E100 is solely focused on the 268, which means I could comfortably put a shot in the side of him. And that's the same thing that's going to happen from here on out. It's a very good system when there's two of you, and if you're in a platoon with somebody, this is a great strategy. However, doing it with a complete random who you've never met before in game, it's fantastic, and it leaves a very, very nice feeling. For example, that Death Star is now focused solely on the 268. Now, the Death Star is focused solely on me. Now the 268 is pushing behind him. Now this is important. You'll notice I'm not coming out for the Death Star yet. I wait until he's coming up the hill, because he doesn't have the gun depression. If I waited till I was reloaded, came out and shot, he was on lower ground, which means he could have shot straight at me. Waiting for him to just crest the ridge means it was impossible for him to get the gun depression, and he very nicely gave the lower plate by going up the dune. But I guaranteed I didn't get a shot off the Death Star. And now it's just onto the IS-8 hunt. And the IS-8 was AFK. Which is very handy, but we didn't know that at the time. So you still had to play in exactly the same way, assuming that the IS-8 is not AFK. Now, that was a fun game. I got 6 kills, 3,969 damage, and I had a mastery for that. And it was on a birthday, so it means I had 75,000 credits. I did 1,472 base XP, but I'm not top of the board on damage. The 268 was, with 400 more damage, and his base XP was 1,237. So based on damage, that guy's top of the board. Based on XP, I'm top of the board. But, credit to the guy. And I like that. So if you see any of these two players in-game on the EU server, give them a shout out from me, please. On the off chance either of them see this video, thank you. It's stuff like that which makes this game fun. Anyway, short video, but it's just intended as a happy thing and a fun first video of the year. But I hope you have enjoyed it, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.